Welcome back to the shop, everybody. So yesterday I was making this beautiful cutting board for a client, and I filmed some techniques and tips that you're really going to want to see for sanding. It's a really brief video, but there's some really good information in there. So let's get into it. Well, here's sanding tip number one. I've got this beautiful cutting board I'm working on for a client, and on a round board, sanding the edges is kind of a bummer. Well, it used to be kind of a bummer. Prepare to be blown away. Isn't that slick? Once you get all that sanded, then just you're sanding the round over, moving the board as you go. So easy. What a time saver. So how did I do that? Lazy Susan hardware from Amazon. Isn't that slick? That's worth the price of admission right there. Okay, let's move on to sanding tip number two. By a show of hands, how many of you love sanding? I'll wait. Yeah, I didn't think so. You didn't see my hands raised. Look, I don't dislike it. It's just one of those necessary evils. The rewards are tremendous. You know, when you give somebody one of your products or you sell it, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to touch it. And if it feels gross, you know, it's got like 5 o'clock shadow and it's got all these weird spots, it's not very attractive. So you got to do the sanding. What I do is mentally just I kind of get into a meditative mode. My body is moving with the sander. Think of it as a slow dance with that special someone. Here's what I do. Okay, so you get the idea. Uh, Again, is it boring? Yeah, it can be. So, but you just got to do it and do it well. All right, here's sanding tip number three. This has been sanded out to 220 grit. It's beautiful. It's ready to go. But if I applied a finish on this right now and somebody used this, what would happen is after they washed it, it would feel funky. Yeah, the grain would raise. So we're actually going to beat the system here. We're going to use a water spray bottle filled with water. We're going to spray this, wipe it down, let it dry naturally. The grain's going to pop up, and we're going to go through with our sander and do a final sanding with that last grit, and it'll take down all that weird, fibery, funky stuff. And then you're ready to apply your finish. A final sanding tip of the day. This was water popped. It dried. I took my 220 grit back to it, sanded it down. It was really funky looking. So I'm now just doing a visual inspection and I'm also feeling it to make sure that I don't have anything weird popping up. It looks and feels great. Okay, once we do this, we're ready for our board butter and we'll be wrapped up with this project. So, hey, I just want to thank you again for following along. I appreciate it. Uh, Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. You'll get notifications for everything I do. And let's show you just a little bonus, the treat at the very end. We're going to throw some board butter down. For me, it's the best part of the job because it all comes together. All right. You know, I do sell board butter in my store. If you ever want that, it's an organic finish, which is wonderful. So check this out. The walnut that I chose for this customer is really pretty. I'm using a circular motion, so I'm forcing the board butter down into the grain. Awesome. You can see the consistency. It's like kind of half melty butter. this stuff. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I sure appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next video.